Since 13th September 2022, when William Ruto and Rigathi Gachagua was sworn in office, Ruto has deployed archaic strategies to tame influence of former President Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga to make sure they're ejected from the political matrix. But one puzzle that has really attracted the attention of experts is the fact that despite of all these traps that have been erected on Raila and Uhuru's way, the two gentlemen have refused to lean. And why in the political space things don't just happen? It has been treated as one, Uhuru Kenyatta has been sought after by believing he's the person funding Azimio la Umoja. On the other end, Raila Odinga has been attacked by believing by running the narrative that is a perennial problem in Kenyan political space. But one constant factor is the two gentlemen have refused to lean. Welcome to the bold analysis. I've divided in this analysis into two parts. The first section, I will show you, we are going to discuss a bit of what Uhuru and Raila has suffered, or the kind of attacks they've suffered. And with those attacks that were meant to ground the two gentlemen are backfiring, and why they can't lean towards Ruto's side. Uhuru Kenyatta, as the fourth president of the Republic of Kenya, comes from a family that harbor a lot of business interests locally and internationally. And some of these business interests actually require political immunity. Raila Odinga remains a stalwart in the political space, and whether he might present a candidature or no, but his role remains consolidating the Azimio troops to mount anti-Ruto campaign, figuring out what will be the next course of action. Uhuru Kenyatta has suffered these attacks. One was direct attacks on his businesses, the Northlands raid, the property tax question, where the family was highly defamed by the administration, to the extent of lifting some exemptions under the guise of everyone has to pay the tax. But there is another one that is the most recent. The Jubilee Party coup that is being orchestrated by powerful individuals within the UD administration. It is a sinister move to form a splinter group away from that Jubilee and to make sure that Uhuru Kenyatta, who the William Ruto realized that he doesn't want that Jubilee Party for anything serious, but just wants to irritate Uhuru Kenyatta. And largely to some extent, the vector points to Rigathi Gachagua. I've always said the person that is going after Uhuru Kenyatta, even through that Jubilee Oster, is Rigathi Gachagua. The same party raid, the same strategy has also been applied on Raila Odinga's ODM party, where there is a breakaway 9 rebel members of parliament that were elected under the ODM. And some of these rebel parties have been brought in the fold to try to spearhead the UD agenda in the larger Nyanza region, with Jalango hitting the headline as one of the least expected to make that unfortunate move. But in the height of all this, these recent attempts, there are also recent attempts by some members of parliament to deny Uhuru, Raila and Kalonzo retirement benefits forcefully because they are still active in politics, while there is some constitutional provision on enjoying retirement benefits and not being in active politics. Raila's security was withdrawn, but momentarily and then reduced. He has suffered one of the hits. Why I totally believe that the African Union job that he lost, it was highly influenced. The end of tenure was highly influenced by the bad blood between Raila Odinga and William Samoei Ruto. But one question remains, Amiraj. Why do you think the gentlemen have stayed put and they've decided not to lean? You may ask, who is leaning? Gideon Moi is leaning. You will find out that. Make sure to subscribe to this channel. You will find out why Gideon Moi is leaning. Something that is very clear is that these gentlemen have refused to bow to that pressure. And you can see a sustained smear campaign against Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta that has been seen and is really being orchestrated by the juvenile politicians from the mountain. Raila has remained with the masses and has put the masses on standby. Any slim mistake on Ruto's side will see Raila Odinga charging the troops back to the streets. But I want to explain 4 reasons why not, despite of all this suppression, this thing seems to have backfired on William Ruto, and the 2 gentlemen have refused to lean and to cede to his ground, to cede the ground. As we talk, you cannot deny, and it is very difficult to deny, that the mass action really had a hit on our economy. And in terms of what is collected in this country, it's become a problem. Even the brokenness of the country, brokenness of political stability. When this country is broke of political stability, the investor confidence goes down, and it becomes a bit of a problem to us as a country. So you cannot underestimate the 2 gentlemen. That is the challenge. That is the first mistake that this administration made. But these are the 4 reasons why Uhuru and Raila are saying they better be in that confrontational angle instead of leaning on the other side. Ruto plan. One of the reasons is this. What Ruto has always wrapped in the UDA narrative, always wrapped that these guys needs to be decimated because they're a nuisance, or rather they are disrupting their administration, according to me, is part of a longer script to suppress 2027 competition. And what Ruto would want to have ride on some super majority and get his way to second term. I can tell you without benefit of doubt that Ruto's second term is not guaranteed the way it has been said in public. It is not that much guaranteed. Only God knows. And anything can happen. Take that to bank and borrow a loan. That is why you can see that the president has rolled a very huge campaign to market UDA in the Nyanza region. While he's telling you that let's stop early campaigns, let's stop politics, but the UDA is campaigning and doing the yellow caps and charts in the rural areas with music. There is a lot of money that is going into it. And so, what Raila and Uhuru have realized is that in any case we lean towards USDA, we'll be playing on Ruto's trap to make sure that he doesn't have a competitor in 2027. Believe me, if today Raila Odinga and Uhuru Kenyatta were to be leading, and that is why I can say the 2 gentlemen are the ones on attack. No one is busy with Kalonzo Musyoka or Martha Karua. But Uhuru and Raila are the men on the attack. They're the ones that are being targeted. In any case, you can suppress the two gentlemen. It's part of the strategy to make sure that William Ruto do not have a competitor, a serious competitor in 2027. Because William Ruto's competitor needs the backing of the two gentlemen, either by endorsement or even by the financial support. And what he's doing, the gentlemen have realized that if he does to his tune, we'll be giving him the second term as he wishes to. Secondly, Uhuru Kenyatta knew very well and understands that the group of leadership in the UDA have a culture of grabbing. You know, they're capitalists. They're people that have got to power, and they're people that want to overtake. If you look at the appointments across the sugar sector, the Ruto's associates. If you look at the energy sector, as Ruto's associates. Look at finance. So what will be is, if Uhuru Kenyatta and Raila Odinga were to lean to Ruto, then they will be fattened for slaughter. I can tell you that they will be given the chase cars and everything and full packs, full respect, those international jobs. But when that is done, they will be fattened for slaughter. Because everything that will belong to them, including even that ODM party, William Ruto can grab that party. Only to make sure that he runs on his second term and also stays in power. Let it not be forgotten to you in this country that at one point we had an MP talking about scrapping the term limit. No. Yes, that was last year. Not very far. Last year in December. In November. That talk was somewhere in the corridors. So that is why I'm saying let it not be forgotten that we are dealing with a team that can do anything. Something that Uhuru and Raila are also seeing is this. With the current shareholding narrative, there are quite a number of loyalists that are being pushed out of government. And when Uhuru can consolidate and Raila can consolidate this team outside government, they will be in a position to oil future elections and actually give Ruto hard time. If there are those who are going to sponsor the next political circle, 2027, then these are the fellows that are being pushed out of the government because they're not shareholders. Uhuru knew very well that you look at the handshake, William Ruto was part of the handshake. He exactly knew. But immediately he decided to walk out so that he can chart his own political path. He clamped together Uhuru and Raila and blamed the whole thing. In any case, Uhuru would want to work with, would lean towards Ruto, both with Raila. Then I can tell you in the next general election, in any sense that Raila will try to chart a different path away from that of Ruto, they will be clumped together and blamed for what the mess that will have happened. And with Uhuru Kenyatta has known very well that being as a man who was in the country for 10 years, a president for 10 years, he knows what William Ruto can achieve within the next 5 years and what he cannot achieve. We just want to stay away and watch from far. Otherwise, he'll be part of that blame game. Ladies and gentlemen, those are my four observations on why both Uhuru and Raila cannot lead despite of that pressure. I want to read your thoughts on this topic and I'll be grateful to hear from your end. Thank you.